Aloha, it's CreativeNameToStandOut again with another battle report. So these first few pictures will be of my just completed Cold One Chariot. I'm pretty proud of it. I am very excited that there are transfers in these new kits because frankly my freehand ability is not very good, and by not very good I mean terrible, very, very bad. A child can paint freehand way better than I can. So I'm very excited though about the model. I have a couple things I want it to do, but of course this shows that when you bring a new model to a game, bad things start to happen to it. So rather than dying, thankfully it didn't die immediately, it is in reserve. These are the only two things I rolled ones for. As far as deployment's concerned, we have his lead belchers with his fire belly, his iron guts with his tyrant on the hill, and then in the center we have his ogre bulls with the BSB, and on their flank are the man-eaters. Now on the far right side we have his giant and his small saber tusk pack. Now facing the giant and the man-eaters will be my executioners. I couldn't really fit them in between the river pieces here, so they did have to kind of hang in the river. We did find out that this river is a +3 to your initiative river, so I guess besides the dangerous terrain checks, it's not that bad. And then in the center we have my witches with the cauldron of blood. I know a lot of people ask me why I don't run them together. I usually honestly don't find a reason to. If you're wanting a more complex answer, I do include it in the comments of other posts if you're interested. But in this situation I definitely need it from protection from those lead belchers because they don't have any save, so a little bit of a save will be great. The spearmen will try in the woods to hide from the lead belchers, and then these two units of fast cav will run up the left side. Now as far as my game plan is concerned, here on this left side I am going to run the Doomfire Warlocks past the lead belchers, but they do need protection, so I'm going to sacrifice my Dark Riders to do it. I'm going to run them parallel next to each other, providing hard cover to my Doomfire Warlocks, so if he wants to shoot at them he probably won't kill them. And I'll skate by with both units, but most likely he'll probably kill the Dark Riders and my Doomfire Warlocks will skate by. On the as far as the rest of the battlefield is concerned, my witches are matched up against the ogre bulls. I will probably breeze through them. I need my spearmen to hold up the iron guts until my witches get back to their senses and turn around to face them. And then I do believe that the executioners can handle both the man-eaters and the giant. Maybe not at the same time, but maybe even at the same time. We'll see. I do feel confident on the right side though. So that is my game plan. We'll see how it goes. Go to Vanguard and then turn 1. Alright, here are my two units of fast cav doing what I described earlier. They're going to Vanguard up, and then the Dark Rider is going to provide cover for my Doomfire Warlocks. And yeah, I'm sorry that they're not painted. I will get to them. I just don't know how I want to do them yet. And then my opponent's Vanguard moves are as so. Right, so I get the +1 to go first, but my opponent still rolls higher than I do, so the Ogres are going to go first. He's going to declare 2 charges, the Giant and the Man-Eaters, at my Executioners. I'm not too worried about it. He might get 1 in. He needs to roll a 10. The Man-Eaters have Swift Stride, but he does get them both in. So again, in a normal situation, I wouldn't be too worried about it. My Executioners would normally hit first, maybe even kill the Giant, definitely reduce the damage output by the Man-Eaters. But in this situation, the river gives them +3 initiative, so they're going to go first. And it's just a bad culmination of variables, and so the Executioners are in big trouble. But bright side, they take a wound for difficult terrain. His lead belchers move up the hill and prepare to rain down a hailstorm of death onto my Dark Riders. The rest of his army moves forward. He may have even declared charges, I don't remember it, but he fails it or moves forward. And his magic phase is easily stopped. It's my level 4 against his level 2. And reality stays intact. He does in fact wipe my Dark Riders off the board. And then we go into combat, and the Giant and the Man-Eaters do a number on my, this is before stops I believe, and I do a lot of wounds to them too, but it's not the same. I have the Master with the Stubborn Crown in there. He failed to kill him, so I stick. Alright, so here we are, finally in Dark Elf turn 1. At this point I feel as if I just got punched in the stomach with the Executioner's in such a bad position. My Dark Riders, they're wiped out. It was expected, but you never like to lose one unit in one turn. I do feel I can come back over there with the Dark Elf Executioners. He lost the initiative bonus now, so I can probably strike and kill him, so I'm confident there. I make a good charge here with the Witches. Here I bring my Warlocks to the side. His corner is actually on the hill. We just didn't want to balance all his models up there. So he needs to turn to face me if he wants to wipe those guys off the board, which he can, and you know, this point's well spent for him, I guess. But then his Lead Belchers will have to combat reform to face the actual battle line, and by the time he does that, I'll have a unit on top of him already, probably my Chariots, because they're coming on the board right now. So he's kind of in a tricky situation. Does he ignore the Doomfire Warlocks, or does he kill them but expose himself for later combats? Here are my Chariots coming on the board. I also placed them in a way where they could support my Spearmen if it ended up needing it. So we go into combat. I completely butcher the Ogre Bulls. It looks like I killed them all except for one, or except for the BSB. He does a little bit of damage. He kills 4, it looks like, and then he's on double ones. He breaks, and I run him down. Well, he breaks, dies, and I continue forward like a frenzied idiot. So I just need to get my Spearmen up there, tie up those Iron Guts, and then turn them around and join the fight. So we go over here. I think I'm good. The initiative bonus is gone, but I fail the fear check, and my Witches are up ahead, so the BSB is too far away. And he just kills me to a man. And so I thought I was going to get back in here, but I lose my entire right flank. He reforms, and looks like he's going to go towards the Witches. So after he reforms with his Giant and Man-Eaters, he declares a charge with his Iron Guts into my Dread Spears. The Dread Spears right now, they're in the forest, but by the time he kills a bunch of them, they'll be out, and then I'll be stubborn. So hopefully I can hold them up here and get the Witches to turn around and help out. But unfortunately, he does declare a charge with his Man-Eaters into the flank of my Witches, which I guess, you know, if you're going to try to beat the Witches, this is probably how you want to do it. He also charges with his Giant, but he fails, and he takes a wound for his trouble. And then this is that unit of Saber-Tusk Cats running up the river. His Lead Belchers decide not to kill my Doomfire Warlocks and instead continue facing my front lines, and he's going to shoot off one of these Chariots. We go into Magic, I stop him, and then he shoots off one of my Chariots. So there's the first one down. And after combat, his Man-Eaters come in. I kill 2 of them, and this is where I was mentioning in the last video where I failed to allocate attacks to a champion. So all that's left after I kill the other 2 is a champion. He breaks, I run, and now I'm way out of position. I'm unable to help those Spearmen. I'm going to be able to kill this Giant probably, but other than that, these Witches are pretty much out of the game. So even though it didn't work out with him as far as beating my Witches, he has caused my Witches to be out of position. We go over here. This is what combat looks like before and what it looks like after. So he just butchers my Dread Spears. I think I do 2 wounds to him. Hopefully I can stay one more turn. We go into Dark Elf turn 2, and I only took 2 pictures, but that's fine. These 2 pictures pretty much encapsulate my whole turn. The Witches and the Cauldron of Blood charge the Giant, easily kill him. We overrun, survive the dangerous terrain checks. I leave my Witches where they are because they're going to fall over if I try to move with along the river. And then over here I bring the Chariot in just to reduce the amount of combat resolution I'm going to lose by. And I do a pretty good job of it. I think I'm like at -5, and I pass. So that's great. Alright, so my turn went by pretty fast. We go into Ogre 3. You can already see this game is going fast, and but blood is just very bloody. Um, I've been ignoring the saber tusks, and that was a mistake on my part. And now he got himself into a position where he could charge my sorceress, and so I'm forced to flee, and it's just not good. And then he charges my sorceress again. She flees to the trees, and then he redirects into my chariot. And now I'm definitely gonna lose this combat. He doesn't get them all in. He just kind of nicks the chariot, but yeah, definitely gonna lose everybody there. And if you look, this is important. He moves his fire belly over there because he has a great weapon. He wants to kill the chariot. I end up doing one wound, and he actually doesn't wound my chariot at all. And if you look, when you flee, you go center to center, and this unit is so long, and he is just clipping my chariot. We're actually going to go kind of up and to the right when we flee, and he's going to butcher a lot of my spearmen, but there's going to still be some left. And so when I flee, as you can see here, he runs down my spearmen with the iron guts, and then he tries to chase my chariot with his lead belchers, and I get away, and he overruns, but he runs right into my sorceress, who's also fleeing. So he gets a free reform from that, and he chooses to face my warlocks. So that was just kind of odd how when you flee center to center, how my chariot kind of went up and to the right rather than just straight back. But anyways, that's what it looks like right here. And yeah, so I've lost the right, I lost the left, and my witches are just out there in the river playing in the water. Okay, so we're in Dark Elf turn 3. All I can do is rally and move my units around that I have left. So lucky for me, my chariot does rally here. He has 2 wounds. It's amazing that he's lived so long. It's very out of the ordinary when you use a new model, like I mentioned earlier. Usually when you bring a new model, it just dies immediately, or bad things happen to it. And this one, it survived the tyrant, and it survived a bunch of ogre attacks, so can't be angry with it. And here's my Cauldron of Blood. It just reforms, passes a dangerous terrain check. I'm going to have to do another one soon, so hopefully it stays intact. Here are my Doomfire Warlocks before I move them. I move them over here so that I could still be in range of a unit, which I think is the cats. And yet, if he moves up with his lead belchers, they'll still be long range, so hopefully they can survive one volley. And then that's my turn. I try to do Doombolt, but he stops me, so we go into Ogre turn 4. Alright, going to Ogre 4, things are looking really bleak for me. He moves up to be in range of the Doomfire Warlocks. He knows he can't be within half range, so he just kind of moves in just to shoot. And this Ogre is fleeing. Oh, he's from the BSB unit. He finally goes off the board. He opens fire with the lead belchers, and he only kills 2 of them, so you know that's fantastic. Maybe I can use these guys now to run up and plink off those saber-tusked cats and get a little bit of points. But this will be the last turn. On Mondays, I get there to the store late, so we usually can't do a full 6-turn game. We usually get in 4. So here I go. I'm going to go up and magic away the saber-tusks. I'm also just going to go ahead and throw the chariot into the flank of the lead belchers, try to kill one lead belcher before he immediately kills me back. So I go ahead and I declare that charge. And I don't have a picture of that, but I do have a picture of this. It's my chariot who just defeated the lead belchers and ran them down. So I charge in there, my 2-wound chariot, my brand new model, the one that you don't expect to do anything because it's brand new. He moves his fire belly over there, and I think he's already taken a couple wounds from earlier in the game. Definitely one from my chariot earlier. I managed to do, I think, 2 wounds to him, which kills him. The impact hits, I think, kill 2 more ogre bulls. I just roll ridiculous. He's unable to wound me because I think I got Soul Blight off with my Doomfire Warlocks. And he loses combat. He's steadfast. His general is right there. Leadership 9 or 10, maybe even 8. I don't know. He fails it. No BSB. Runs 2 inches, I think, and I run him down. And so just like that, I swing the game back into my favor. And this is what the board looks like at the end of turn 4. We're not going to get another turn in. There's my witches against his iron guts. Who knows how that's going to go? But yeah, the chariot it was amazing. It was so great. So we end the game there. It was a 70 point difference. I think last time it was a 7-point difference. So maybe next time it'll be a 700 point difference, and maybe I can pull a win off there. But yeah, it was a great turnaround. I was definitely getting my butt kicked the entire game, and yeah, so it was great to get that little bit of luck there at the end. Okay, so how about some, I guess, last thoughts about this game, things I've learned, things I'd do differently. One thing I want to bring up in this video specifically, since I've gotten some questions about it, is that why I don't put the Cauldron of Blood in a unit, and why I don't put it with the witches. And this kind of illustrates. I know people will still disagree with me why I don't like the Cauldron there. The unit, my witches, they have frenzy, so they're going to get easily drawn away from the battlefield like they did in this game. And when you have so many points and a utility item, like a utility unit like the Cauldron of Blood, it's kind of a major waste to have it running, far to the right or far to the left or just away from the combat. And I'd much rather have had that Cauldron behind my lines. And even if my witches, ran away after a giant and some man-eaters, I could still have brought that Cauldron of Blood, say, next to the Spearman unit, which would have been really grateful or really great for wounding those iron guts, because that's the most difficult thing to do with spearmen is to wound. So I usually, I was going into those combats, I was hitting with about everything, like probably 80% of my hits, and I really could have used the rerolls to wound, because all I have to do is have that unit 6 inches with the Cauldron. But without it, the Cauldron's swinging out there with the witches, and the spearmen are kind of just laid there stuck without any support. So, I could have played better in other aspects, but I just feel like that's why I don't like the Cauldron with the unit. I already know the witches are going to go far flung somewhere else on the table. I don't want the Cauldron included in there. But either way, yeah, I could have played the sorceress better. I should have paid attention at the sabercats. That's a thing I guess everybody can learn. Sometimes there's units in books. Maybe they're saber tusk cats. Maybe they're yetis. Maybe they're Empire bowmen. I don't really care what it is. But even if you disrespect those kind of like lower tier units that I know people don't tend to bring, and maybe somebody brings them and you don't respect them at all, they can really put you in a bind. And that's kind of what I did. I disrespected the hunter and the sabercats basically from previous experiences playing against them, and I kind of ignored them. And sure enough, they got into a position that ultimately led to my sorceress dying a pretty easy death. So, gotta learn to respect every unit, no matter what it is. So, so next time you see a spawn or a blood rack Medusa, you better kill it as quick as you can, because otherwise it might come back to bite you. Otherwise, yeah, this is a great game. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Sorry I didn't take as many pictures as I usually do. I'll try to do better next time. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and just have a good day. See ya.